What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 42, and we start today's episode off by looking at our youth player in our academy called Billy Akinfenwa, and he looks unbelievably average as the weeks have gone by and the months have gone by too. And also we had a scout report, and again, there's no one really good. I know that people love youth scouting, and I love it as well. Of course, my FIFA 13 Career Mode wielded so many players that were so good in my academy. It's a shame we never really got to use them, obviously, but even so, we had so many great youth players in that career mode, and youth scouting is awesome. I think it's great. Obviously, in my last FIFA 14 career mode, we had a couple of good youth players as well, but I haven't found anyone good from the scout report so far, and I think it might take a while. Of course, our scout is 3-star experience and judgment, so not the worst, but not the best either. So of course, you've got to expect he's not going to pick up the best players. And I do want to sign a 5-star experience and judgment scout in the future. Just right now, we don't have too much money, but yeah, I guess right now you've got to expect these players we find aren't going to be the best. Anyway, as we move on to the next thing, you'll see we have a squad report today, and a reminder: squad reports are shown at the start of every single in-game calendar month. So as we're now into December, you can check out what the players are doing, and we also have a look at the league table as well. As you can see, we are sitting in 5th place after 14 games, 7 wins, 2 draws, and 5 defeats, 27 goals scored. We are the league's highest goal scorers so far, but to have let in 18 goals, that's the most in all of the top 10, in fact all of the top 13. That's not good. Obviously, you know, one of the problems we've had this year has been we haven't kept many clean sheets, and we've let in quite a few goals, and that could end up being our downfall come the end of the season. You know, it really could. But still, we take on QPR for the first game of today's episode here as we travel to Loftus Road to take on the men from London. As you can see by my lineup, I rested a large chunk of players. In fact, I think every single player, to be honest, and the reason being is because QPR also rested a few players themselves for this game, but mainly because the Capital One Cup, it's not my main focus. But it is worth noting this is the quarter-final stage. We've done very well to get here. Yes, we've had quite an easy run in, I'm not going to lie, but to get to the quarter-final stage is still quite impressive with the sides we've been picking. As we are into the quarter-final stage now, I'm still not that fussed, and this is of course the second game in a 7-day really mad sort of run of fixtures. We got also, we had Sunderland on Saturday, then on Tuesday, which is tonight, we got QPR. Then 2 days later, we got Torpedo Moscow coming to the Hawthorns in the Europa League, and then on the following Saturday, on this Saturday coming, we got another game in the Premier League as well. So we got loads and loads of games to play, and this is going to be a real test of, you know, squad depth and I guess attitude from the players as well. These players who don't play very often, you know, showing us that they do want to play these games and put in good performances, and then possibly get played in the more important games. So it's a really good chance for those two players you saw there, Jolien Lescott and Kim Seung-gyu, our goalkeeper, putting in some good shifts at the back. And it was still 0-0 in this game, but we did actually take a shock lead in the 36th minute. Santiago Grillo, on loan from Manchester United, gets his second goal for the club, both of course in the Capital One Cup. He scored that winner in the dramatic game against Middlesbrough at the Hawthorns. That was of course in the 120th minute as we were just about gearing up for penalties, and he scores a goal here as well. But I have to say, the goalkeeper Murphy, well, he did not cover himself in much glory there. I know QPR were resting a lot of players, and that includes the goalkeeper as well, but even so, he should be stopping that. Any goalkeeper really should not be beating a near post there when you've got that angle seemingly covered, and the shot isn't the most ferocious. So Santiago Grillo gets his second goal for the club, both in the Capital One Cup, and you never know, this guy on loan from United, the Argentine, could definitely get into some more future squads in the future if he plays like this. So 1-0 to West Bromwich Albion, and QPR were having some chances themselves in the first half. They had the lion's share of the chances really, but they just weren't taking them. And in the 47th minute, Danny Ings gets down the right hand side here, really good chance to make it 2-0, smashes the ball towards the far post, and it hits the far post and is cleared away. So still 1-0 there as we almost extended our lead. And you know, I didn't really see this coming as Gomez comes forward for QPR here, another great chance, and Charlie Austin's shot is brilliantly saved by our goalkeeper who keeps it at 1-0. I didn't see this coming because QPR's squad still looked a little stronger than ours, probably a little bit balanced actually, probably sort of half and half, but still a very strong side. But to be honest, our goalkeeper was in such good form, and as Brunt clears the ball for the line here, you'll see that is actually how the game finished. Nothing happened in the last half an hour. No wonder our goalkeeper gets all the plaudits, because he made some brilliant saves in this game. And it's funny, in the previous 2 games I played him and he looked really unconvincing. In this one, he was fantastic. So we win the game by 1-0, and we are into the semi-finals of the Capital One Cup. And as you can see, we'll be taking on our rival rivals Aston Villa over 2 legs. So that is going to be a brilliant tie. In the other tie, City take on Swansea. And to be honest, like, I never really cared about the Capital One Cup, and even though we're in the semi-final, you know, in my previous career modes, even when I've got to the semi-final, I still usually play backup players. But you better believe now the Capital One Cup is going to be a lot more important. Now we've been drawn against our rivals, I really want to get through those 2 ties. So yeah, we may have been playing weaker sides, we may have been giving the squad players, the fringe players if you will, chances to show their worth, but you better believe it, in those 2 games against Aston Villa, yeah, I will rotate the squad, don't get me wrong, but I'm definitely going to be playing a lot more first team players than I currently have been in that competition. And 2 days later we take on Torpedo Moscow here as they travel to the Hawthorns. In the other game, Napoli took on Feyenoord, and I had a close eye on that game because obviously the way that game pans out, we could be needing a win in our final group stage game. If Feyenoord beat Napoli tonight at home, then we could need a win against Napoli ourselves in the last group stage game. So for this penultimate game, as you can see by my lineup, I did pick a very strong squad. I know Torpedo Moscow are the weakest side with only 1 point in 4 games, and we should beat them. We beat them at home in the first game of this group by 3-0 comfortably. I still needed to pick a strong side because I knew that Feyenoord could still beat Napoli, and that could mean we definitely needed to get a win. And the first incident of this game came here, as I had a great chance with Yang as Torpedo Moscow were guilty of some shambolic defending, just like they were in the first game we played. Heel flicked around the goalkeeper, but as I tried to shoot, it was a great save and turned behind for a corner. And then this happened a few minutes later.
To tell us about a goal that's just happened elsewhere.
It's a goal for the home team. 25 minutes played. 1-0.
Cheers, Alan.
Feyenoord did indeed take the lead, and as we walked off the pitch at half time, we'd done basically nothing all game. Only the Niang shot was really our best attempt at trying to get ourselves in front. It was a poor first half, and knowing that Feyenoord were in the lead as well was not good news. But we did actually see at half time that Napoli had drawn level. This is why the goal updates on FIFA suck. I never got that goal where Napoli scored the equaliser. But anyway, as things stood, it was going to be Feyenoord on 6 and also West Bromwich Albion on 6 points so far in the group after this round of fixtures, if the games stayed the same as they were, which meant that fate, you know, would still be technically in our own hands. But if Feyenoord beat Torpedo Moscow in the final game, which you'd fancy them to do, you know, we'd have to beat Napoli as well. So I didn't really fancy that. So we really need to get ourselves a goal in this game, and thankfully we did in the 48th minute. After the restart, I must have given the boys a rollicking at the half-time team talk because we hadn't been doing the job in the first half. And who got the goal? Well, in the 48th minute, it was Yang who got it. A really nice run down the left-hand side from the French winger, who of course is playing up top at the moment in Berahino's absence. We cut inside with the roulette, then a fake shot. Got a little bit fortunate because the challenge came in, but it wasn't strong enough. Niang kept hold of the ball and smashed the ball in to the bottom corner to make it 1-0 to West Bromwich Albion. So blushes spared for the time being. We needed a goal. We got it very early on. Never seen that before. And we got ourselves the goal. And it's West Bromwich Albion 1, Torpedo Moscow 0. Who on earth was that? Still 1-0 here. And in the 63rd minute, we got on the break as Will Hughes finds Yusuf Malumbu. Malumbu collects the ball and plays it forward towards Brown Day. Great chance to make it 2-0 here, just like Niang did. He cut inside from the left foot, got onto his right foot and struck it, and it's a huge error by the Torpedo Moscow defender, because I think this shot by Brown Day was going wide. Instead, he sticks out a leg to block it in case it's going into the far corner, which it might have been, and it's an own goal by Torpedo Moscow, and we make it West Bromwich Albion 2, Torpedo Moscow 0, and surely now the points are sealed, because they weren't really attacking in this game at all. But of course, every time I say that, something seems to happen, and it does happen here. A great chance for Torpedo Moscow to get played forward, but the shot goes over the bar and out for a goal kick. So still 2-0 to us, and as things stood, we were going to get ourselves a crucial 3 points in this game. Julian Green almost wrapped up the points here, but his shot went wide of the post and out for a goal kick. So still 2-0, and with 5 minutes to go, I held my breath as I heard another goal update from Alan McInally in the Netherlands.
It's a second goal for Napoli. 4 minutes remain. 2-1.
Thanks, Alan.
And there was massive relief because Napoli took the lead in that game to make it Feyenoord 1, Napoli 2. And as we held on to the win, and we saw after the game that Napoli also held on for their win, it means that in our final Europa League group stage game, all we need is 1 point against Napoli at the Hawthorns, and we will guarantee qualifications to the knockout stages, and it will not matter what Feyenoord do against Torpedo Moscow. We could still go through with a loss as well, so long as Feyenoord don't beat Torpedo Moscow by a lot of goals and we don't lose by a lot of goals. goals. So we are almost there, 1 foot into the knockout stages. Big result, and we came through big with 2 wins in these 2 games. We did have to play mixed squads. But as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the episode, then please leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.